Welcome to Money Through Ease. I'm your host, Reagan Bashara. You're probably here because you're an entrepreneur or a business owner that thinks that I'm not doing things correctly when it comes to your business finances. If that's you, I want to help you do things correctly. I want to help you do your bookkeeping right. I want to help you understand your finances better so that you can set and achieve your business goals. And that starts with good organization. Yes, you do need to keep your receipts, and I have a free guide on my system for managing your financial paperwork, your receipts, everything that has to do with your business and your taxes. Download this free guide at the link in the show notes. It's called Chaos to Calm. And when you're ready, you can get on a consultation with me to learn more about my offers. But let's get on with the episode. All right. Hi, everybody. I'm Reagan. I'm your host. This is Money Through Ease. I have a new guest with me. It's Vanessa Betance, and she is with VMB Creative. Vanessa Betance is the founder of VMB Creative, a boutique branding and marketing agency that helps small businesses breathe life into their brands and make a lasting impact with authenticity. With over 17 years of experience in branding, marketing, copywriting, and content strategy, Vanessa has a passion for translating vision into reality. I absolutely love that bio, by the way.
Thank you.
Wonderful. Welcome to
Thank,
Money Through Ease.
thank you for having me, Reagan.
Yeah, I'm so excited you're here and you're going to share some of your brilliance with us because you've been doing the digital marketing thing for a long time. And I know people, especially small business owners, just love to kind of eat up any of that expertise and that longevity. When someone has longevity in their business or in their field, it's like, I want to soak it all in. And I know the people listening do too as well. So tell us a little bit about who you are, your business, and what you do.
Yeah, for sure. So, as you shared, BMB Creative is a creative boutique that I have extreme experience, yes, but I think what I like to share, and that really kind of is my little moment to shine is the nickname that one of my past clients once gave me is like, oh wow, Vanessa, you're like a marketing unicorn. And the reason is because I've
Yeah.
been in the game for so long that as a natural creative, I can't just stay in one thing. I can't
Yeah.
just do one thing forever.
hmm
On top of always having this like insane passion to always constantly learn something new. Um, like I'm always like, oh, what's that? Oh,
Yeah.
tell me more,
Oh, a shiny thing.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. And the beginning of my career, obviously I worked in corporate,
hmm
and I was blessed to work with really, really amazing companies that basically funded my like actual education and all of my marketing
hmm
experience, right?
hmm
Because when you're working in that type of space, what happens is usually in the creative departments is they mix you around all the time. When there's like a gap somewhere, they'll move
Yeah.
you like a puzzle piece, to see, oh,
Right.
where other areas can you fit in?
Yeah.
What are you interested in? Oh, you want to go there? Cool. Let's train you. Let's get going.
Yeah.
Let's have you get some experience. Now you're part of the team. Awesome.
Yeah.
And that I think is really, really awesome that you're able to do that. Like we're able to do that. A lot of times I remember growing up, my mom would be like, oh my God, you're getting another role, or like, wow, or like, that's so fast, or
Again?
wow, yeah, or you're looking for another job. Oh my God, you're
Yeah.
fine, and
Yeah.
like she comes from an era where they stay working for 25 years. And yes,
hmm
there's growth and development, but it was
hmm
very different than what it was from today, and even when I was in my 20s, so
Yeah.
um, all that to say that I have really been able to use my corporate experience in dabbling in the creative side, strategy, copywriting, um, to actual creative content creation
hmm
sessions where we're working with photographers, we're working with ideas to implement, to create, to edit, to post, then to
Yeah.
analyze. Now we're slowly moving into like beyond just standard social media insights. And now we've moved into creative development for
Mm-hmm.
strategy and development for ads, and then
Mm-hmm.
executing ads, and
Yeah.
then analyzing the ads, and then reporting that into a beautiful story on a lovely
Yeah.
deck,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
like that was the I think is a really cool thing about my corporate experience, that it gave me the platform and the flexibility and just the real world experiences of how to do all of that.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just um, fell in love with doing all that I can to help small businesses, because I knew one day I was going to have a small business of my own, and good karma is out there.
Yeah.
So if I can help others do something that to me, like I love it, to me is like, and that's where a lot of my, hard lessons in early entrepreneurship was like knowing how much to charge, or knowing
Mm-hmm.
when to say, no, I can't take any more work. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
Um, just because of my um, just because of how badly I wanted to help. And then
Mm.
also because how much I love marketing and I love
Yeah.
being creative. I love executing that creative vision. I even love, but I really love seeing the end piece, right? So having to work with a client and then having them share their vision with me, and then us
Mm-hmm.
work together at seeing all the way to the end, where we can actually see the whole big picture, and then seeing their vision come to life, right? Like that moment
Yeah.
of like, oh my God,
Mm-hmm.
this is what we've this is what we've made, this is
Yeah.
amazing. Like that is super rewarding to me. So
Mm-hmm.
because that was a time where I was more of like, you gotta do what your passion calls, forget about money. Cause I was already over corporate. Like I reached
Yeah.
that. Like I reached
Mm-hmm.
that. And then I realized how unfulfilling that was. Like I reached
Mm-hmm.
six figures, and it's just, yeah, it's great, but it wasn't, I don't know. There was a lot of travel involved. There was just, I don't,
Yeah.
it was great, but then there was a lot of big voids.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but then here comes my passion kicking in, and it's like,
Yeah.
oh, girlfriend, you can go. Like you can live a starving artist. You can do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was like I started off with extremes where passion was driving me more than the
Mm-hmm.
financial, and I learned big lessons there. But all
Yeah.
in that to say, um, entrepreneurship has always been a dream of mine. And then helping others and just having conversations and bouncing ideas with
Mm-hmm.
other like-minded folks, to me is so much more fulfilling than a stuffy corporate room
Yeah.
where like everything is kind of like pretty fake
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
not, you know um
Yeah.
not
I
all the time.
I wonder, okay, so you mentioned that you have a flower shop, like
I
florist.
did.
Yeah. So you're still doing that, and then you're also helping people with the branding because that's something you're passionate about. And you've mentioned like the drive of both the passion combined with like wanting to help people. And I'm an ideas girl. Like I will sit here and spout off 80 million ideas with somebody. And if we really get going, it's kind of dangerous, honestly, because then I'm like, great, I've got all these ideas. Let's go do them. Like, how does that work with you? What is the balance like between like you have this business where you get to be creative and then you've got the branding and the marketing and helping others be creative and kind of see their vision come to life? What does that balance look like for you?
So that I did have the floral shop for 4 years.
Mhm.
I started with two other partners, and then I sold my piece earlier this year.
Mm,
So
gotcha.
now I'm just doing my own creative boutique full time, and
Amazing. Congratulations.
thank you. But essentially, when I was doing some freelancing at the time of having my shop, time management is huge.
Mm,
And I think that it took me a while to figure out too, again, because I'm just that type of person that like passion will have me going so much more further than it
yeah.
should be.
Yeah.
It keeps me going when I should just pause and stop and
Yeah.
reevaluate. It just
Yeah.
keeps me going. So I feel like if I could do it all over again, I would really focus on time management and being
Hmm.
honest with how much I can do, and
Yeah.
really look into outsourcing help wherever it is aligned and it makes the most sense, whether that is, and I'm talking about all areas of my life, not just
Hmm.
like in the shop with employees or in or virtual assistant to help me with
Hmm.
my freelancing, or
Hmm.
house cleaning to help me at home,
Yeah.
or like, but there's just so many things that I feel like we just try to take, or at least I'll just speak in first person. I just try to take on so much,
Yeah.
um because I just don't, growing up to always help. You
Hmm.
always got to extend where you can.
Yeah.
So I just kind of taken that again, because I'm an all or nothing. I'm a Pisces, and I Pisces hard. So like I'm either all in or I'm all out. Like
I was
so
gonna
like I'm
ask you, like, what's your astrological? Do you have siblings as well?
yeah.
Are they younger?
Yeah.
All right. Well, then, eldest daughters here, like, tapping
Yes.
in
Yes,
because
it's you
I
get it. Yes.
understand completely.
Yes. And so, I just learning how to really take care of my mental, as much as I'm taking care of everything else, is super
Mm.
important.
Hmm.
And I feel like I neglected myself because
Mm.
I was just trying so hard to, make everything neat.
Yeah.
So I will say that time management is huge. And at the end
Hmm.
of the day, one thing I did learn, because I was seeking it for so long, and then it just like it was like a cross between a conversation I had with a friend and just like an epiphany, but like we're never truly balanced,
Hmm.
because
Yeah.
when we have our priorities, it's
Hmm.
balanced based on our priorities,
Yeah.
right? Like, and at the end of the day, that's the only way. If you focus a little bit more on something than all the rest, you're going to get
Hmm.
further in that little bit more. Do you know what
Hmm.
I'm saying? Like, and that's
Hmm.
in what you're trying to develop. So,
Yeah.
I learned that because I was trying so hard to balance everything.
Yeah.
But what ended up happening is I left myself out of the equation because I was balancing everything else. I didn't put
Hmm.
myself in
Yeah.
so I realized that, like, okay, so if it's me that is my number one, my priority, and my health,
Hmm.
then at the end of the day I need to carve in 20 minutes every single day to me
Yeah.
without feeling guilty. I don't
Yeah.
care if I didn't reach the rest of my to-do list. Like, I
Yeah.
gotta do it. Like, I got
Yeah.
24 hours to commit to these 20 minutes.
Yeah.
You
And
feel
that is
me?
that's an experience that I think so many people share. It's like, I think so many people who listen and so many people I know, and I share that experience too, that it's like you feel pulled in so many different directions. And especially lately for me, I've been focusing so much more on my self-care, and I've like the rewards have been exponential. Like just 20 minutes a day, like you were talking about, like it's so important to carve out that little bit of time. And it does make a huge difference. We discount it because we're like, it's only 20 minutes. I can skip over it. But
Mm-hmm.
when you miss out on that 20 minutes, you miss a lot more than just spending 20 minutes will gain you. And like that, it's not like a one-to-one like ratio of that. It's like you get so much more out of prioritizing yourself and self-care, and it's so important for business owners because we answer to ourselves. We don't have a manager or a boss like looking over our shoulder all day. Like we have to be in charge of our time management and prioritizing ourselves. So I'm really glad that you brought that up. But we can totally switch into talking about branding now.
No, I love this. I love this. I just didn't know. I didn't know how
Yeah,
firm you
okay.
wanted to be. I love it. So we could keep going.
Yeah. Well, you originally applied and talked about like helping people especially define their niche and helping startups because moving from a corporate job where you're cross-trained into all of the different tasks and you fit into all these different teams, now it's like up to us as entrepreneurs to decide to make the decisions and be like, Well, what is my niche going to be? What is my brand going to be? How can I be authentic to myself? Because when you're not being authentic to yourself, there's like a dissonance that happens and like it's uncomfortable, right? And so can you walk us through like a client journey with you from, let's say somebody doesn't really have a plan for like what they want to do and we're starting from zero, from square one. Can you walk us through what that journey looks like for your clients that you work with?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's funny that you say that because not only have I helped clients that are starting brand new, right? But there's plenty of times where I've started working with clients with existing brands that they have no clue who they're talking to, you
Yeah.
know? So, yeah, I feel like this piece of the puzzle when it comes to branding is so important. And it's one of the things that you get to determine upfront. Like at the end of the day, what type of brand are you
Mm-hmm.
in a sense of what type of clientele do you want to bring in? What
Mm-hmm.
is your goals? What is your financial, like, what is your financial goal or what are you working
Mm-hmm.
towards? And then what do you, that whatever you have to distribute or provide in service, how is it valued? Right. Like, and so at the end of the day, when you think of what your product is and who it serves,
Mm-hmm.
then you need to then think of, all right, how can I speak to them? How can I
Mm-hmm.
communicate to them to let them know I
Yeah.
got this to serve them or to
Yeah.
help them or to give them, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So you can have several different types of buyer personas. Now we're going to
Mm-hmm.
get a little technical, but like
Yeah.
you can have a bunch of different buyer personas for that one service or that one product, depending on who you're
Mm-hmm.
talking to, right? It could be a corporate person, or it could be someone that is just a regular consumer that can totally benefit your product or service.
Yeah.
So you would talk differently to someone at work than your friend
Mm-hmm.
on the phone,
Mm-hmm.
right? You would tell them, you would totally talk to them differently. You would explain stories differently.
Yeah.
You would highlight different parts of your stories
Yeah.
differently.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like taking that into consideration. And then the same type of mental like mechanics is
Yeah.
to figuring out, all right, let me, if that's who I'm talking to, all right, what's that language? What does that language
Yeah.
look like? And then,
Mm-hmm.
okay, if it's corporate, then yes, we're going to be a little bit more, not a little bit, we'll be more formal. We will
Yeah.
also have things a little more properly done and
Mm-hmm.
executed. Probably, higher quality photos. It's not going to
Mm-hmm.
be such raw like
Yeah.
material that you can see on TikTok, right?
Yeah.
At least not for now. At least not for
Yeah.
now. That could
Yeah.
totally change. Like social
Uh-huh.
changes all the time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But then also like so you're presenting yourself differently. So okay, cool. That's who I'm talking to. That's my audience. All right, I already have a persona, a buyer persona in mind of let's say let's just say Charlie. I
Yeah.
don't know. Okay. I don't know.
Yeah.
Let's just say Charlie as the corporate Charlie. So I was thinking of
Yeah.
a name with C.
Corporate
Um,
Charlie. Yeah.
yeah. Corporate Charlie. So you would talk to corporate Charlie way differently. And all right, that allows you to think of who you are and who your brand is and not change for anybody, but just figure out how to talk to them while still being your authentic self. Because
Mm-hmm.
at the end of the day, what you're trying to do, and again, it falls back to your goals. If you don't see this to be long term, then your
Mm.
strategy is going to be very different. It's
Yeah.
not going to be an organic strategy that takes time to grow, as in a garden where you
Yeah.
plant and you water and you pull the weeds and you maybe put a little like
Yeah.
fertilizer or some vitamins and then you let nature do its thing, and it takes time. So organically, to grow your community, it truly does take time. Yes, you could put spend behind awareness so more people, more like-minded folks will learn about you, but at the
Mm-hmm.
end of the day, it takes nourishing to
Mm-hmm.
build and cultivate your community, right?
Yeah.
And so you want to make sure that whatever you put out there is going to hold the test of time. So it's
Yeah.
not, like
Yeah.
using like, trendy words that do you speak that way? If you do, cool. Then
Yeah.
then that makes sense. You're gonna talk to those type of people, and you're
Hmm.
gonna get those type of sales, that type of return, because you're speaking their language. You're calling to them. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
But you can't expect, you know, high high profits
Hmm.
when you're speaking a language that is foreign to you. It's not even, you don't even speak that way,
Yeah.
and you're trying to be something you're not. And
Hmm.
then the little sales that you do get, you're unhappy with it because that's not the type of clientele you want, or that's more
Yeah.
not the money that you want, or you're not
Yeah.
making as much money as you want. Well, who are you talking to? How are you talking? You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Like, think about it
Hmm.
that way. Like, psychology has a big chunk to do with marketing.
Yeah.
Huge. And I wish, I mean, now they talk about it. Back in the day, they didn't talk about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And not as much, right? They really didn't put as much emphasis in it. But at the end of the day, it really is just knowing who you're talking to. And it's like thinking about it when you and taking into real life terms. Like, people are calling themselves brands. Okay, you're a
Mm.
walking brand. When you go
Hmm.
to work, how do you talk at work?
Hmm.
How do you tell your friends at work that you have a new product?
Hmm.
You know, and then still being you, still being true to you, but then
Yeah.
also turning around and then telling your friends in a normal environment, in a normal way, how you can tell them you just put out a new product or you have
Hmm.
a new service. How do you
Yeah.
tell them? You know, and it's talking like that. And then also, and then that's where, you know, you really do become strategic of, okay, now you've defined that. Again, you're not niching down, you're staying
Hmm.
true, and you can be servicing a wide range of folks: men, women,
Yeah.
elderly, youth. You could be, you
Hmm.
know, you can, a wide range, but it's just what type of person, like, what are your, who's your
Hmm.
crowd?
Yeah.
You know, how are you speaking to them? And then
Yeah.
from your crowd, you narrow in on basically creating like your avatar, your buyer
Hmm.
persona, and you find out what their likes are, their pain points, their challenges. And this is where AI comes in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is the
Yeah.
beauty of today's day and age, where you can hone in so much using AI on
Hmm.
how to communicate to this set audience using your own brand, tone, and voice.
Yeah.
You know?
I love using AI for like a jumping off point. Like I'll let ChatGPT like build me an outline, but then I always consider like, okay, but how would I say it? Because the
Mm-hmm.
AI is not saying it like how I say it. And my people want me. They don't want me parroting back what AI said. So it's
Absolutely.
so important to have that authentic voice too, even if you're using the tools and understanding the psychology and all of that, like you're still talking to another person on the other end of that. And like you mentioned, like cultivating a garden, I think that is always such a great metaphor to use for marketing and branding, because it's like we care for plants because they're beautiful and they bring us joy, or if we're growing tomatoes, they are nourishing us. Like it
Yes.
is so important to do that, because it to look at it that way, because it's another human being, it's another person on the end of the transaction. And like I want to build a relationship with my people. I don't necessarily just want to take their money. Like they nourish me while I nourish them. I teach them something, they pay me for that value. Like that is the exchange that's happening, but I also care about them just as whole people. And I think like when it comes to client avatars, it's been so helpful for me to just like pull up an actual client that I've had a training with, or a conversation with, or DMs with. And I like, if I'm doing a video or if I'm writing an email, I just imagine that I'm like speaking directly to them,
Yes.
because I know about
Yes.
them. So like they've told me
Yes.
exactly. And like we're all unique butterflies and all that, but like most of us also have the same kind of problems. We all kind of deal with the same bullshit. And like it is
Yes.
easy to bring up somebody who something specific about and speak to that experience, because it will definitely apply to somebody else. Somebody else will hear that and be like, whoa, it's like she actually knows what I'm dealing with. Like, yeah. So the client avatar thing is so good. And the metaphor of the garden, like you want to be that caretaker almost, in that caretaker position of your community. And so I love that you framed it that way, because it is building a community. It is building relationships with people.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, like I totally, and I back you up 1,001%. uh,
Thank you.
I love to use, yeah, I love to use AI as like data tools. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like tell me what pains and
Mm-hmm.
challenges these folks are having, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because at the end of the day, that allows me to create content, but
Mm-hmm.
then also become more of value. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So, and then to really just speaking to like, okay, this is how you're feeling, but look, I got this for you to
Mm-hmm.
come
Mm-hmm.
help save the day, you know?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, that human element. And it's just, it's like now you already know, like, I feel like we have grown in such a quick amount of time, but I feel
Mm-hmm.
like it's been a universal thing that you know when something's been AI. You know what I mean? Like
Yes.
it's like, like you don't even
Yes.
look at it, like you
Yeah.
just, so, a lot of folks are like, oh, but there's not a lot of folks. Let me rephrase that because words are powerful. I teach my son that all the time.
Yes.
But there are business owners that I've had conversations with, and um, they keep on saying, oh, well, and this could be like a sales call in
Mm-hmm.
all transparency.
Mm-hmm.
They were like, oh, well, that part of your service of content creation and strategy is great, but I have AI. Like I could just, chat
Oh yeah.
GPT. And I'm like, no, no, like, okay, like, yes, you're
Mm.
right by black and white worlds. Like, yes, okay,
Yeah.
you plug in your little script and that happens,
Mm-hmm.
cool. But that is not what's gonna work long term, nor probably is it gonna give you the results that you're looking for
Yeah.
immediately, So
Yeah.
it's
And people
like,
can tell, like you said, we all know when we see an AI image. It
just
doesn't
like
even have to be the one with the fingers that are all weird too. Like we can just I'm smarter than the computer. Like computers have not just suddenly become smarter than
I
us.
know,
Like we
no,
can tell.
it's like, and just like when you buy followers, you can tell.
Yeah. Mm,
It's
yeah.
another one, I'm not a buyer. I'm not happy with that. I always
It's
steer
so
my
goofy.
clients. Yeah, like why? Like put that money in an
Why?
ad, yeah, put that money in an
Yeah.
ad that's going to turn
Yeah.
around, bring awareness, sign up to
Hmm.
your newsletter.
Hmm.
Then you really give, like there's
Yep.
smarter ways to throw your money, guys.
Yep. Yep.
I want to
Yep.
say,
Yes.
but that's another conversation.
Yes.
But
Yeah. So what kind of specific challenges do you see startups coming up against if somebody's like brand new in business and maybe it is like the draw of AI or the draw of buying followers or like let's just get your take on like the quick fix overnight success crap that's out there that is just like spend this much money with me and we're gonna catapult you into success. Like what, give me your take on that. Is that something you see a lot of startups kind of getting pulled into?
I see a lot of startups getting like lost in the sauce of social media and
Mm,
getting over glamorized like
mm,
promises
mm.
of all these thousands of followers. And really it's not as much as like, okay, I'll create content for you. It's like I'll just buy all these bots and
Yeah.
flood your account with bots, really. I
Yeah.
mean, and also I feel like there's a lot. Social media is a lot, and
Mm-hmm.
there's a lot of pieces to social media
Mm-hmm.
marketing, social media
Mm-hmm.
strategy, and knowing who your audience is a huge piece of the puzzle
Yeah.
that a lot of folks either are intimidated by, so they just like, let me just go out there and spread the word. Let me just go ahead and make a post of like my
Yeah.
product of or my new release, my new launch, without really understanding like what, okay, so what's next, like, or
Yeah.
really thinking through. They don't know about funnels. Let's be real, that again, these are
Mm-hmm.
marketing is a full-time job,
Mm-hmm. It's
right?
a
So it's like,
science too. It's an
yes,
experiment. Yeah.
yes. And so if you're not patient, then go
Mm-hmm.
ahead. I would tell you, instead of buying followers, put money in your ads. Go
Yeah.
ahead, go crazy,
Mm.
put money in your ads.
Mm-hmm.
Still with strategy, still getting your subscribers like sent to your email or signing up new subscribers or excuse me, getting folks sent to your website to sign up to your
Mm-hmm.
subscribers.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for that moment of clarity. But like still be smart with how you're going to use your money. So you still
Yeah.
have your database, you still have your people, because email marketing is huge. I say it hands
Yeah.
down more than
Yeah.
social media, but people
Mm-hmm.
see that's
Mm-hmm.
the thing. That's
Mm-hmm.
how this is what I mean that the business owners get so like lost in the sauce sometimes, is because they
Mm-hmm.
still think that Instagram is where they should throw all this money. No,
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
still think that a channel is the best thing to like, put all your money in. And I
Mm.
always say no, it's the second best thing.
Yeah.
It's like just an avenue, it's like a turbo boost, and it allows you to be a train to keep
Yeah.
going, to let everybody know about you,
Yeah.
everybody know about you,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
organically.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So at the end of the day, your email database is huge.
Yep.
Focus on building your email database. Every
Mm-hmm.
startup, I always say, yes, have your social media intact. Have a strategy of your first 10 posts be exactly of who you are, what you offer, how you help, how to
Mm.
reach you, different
Mm-hmm.
examples, pieces of your character, brand character, be
Mm-hmm.
just natural, right? Like focus on your first 10 posts,
Mm-hmm.
get your story highlights in place. So then again, because it's like your menu, like
Yeah.
nowadays you got
Yeah.
to be multiple, just like how one person has to be multiple roles, one
Mm-hmm.
business has to do multiple things and
Yeah.
act as if as a multiple businesses, right?
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, you can look at your Instagram as your business card slash menu, and you could put your services down, put how to reach you, put like, again, yes, you have it in post, but have that in your stories, because at
Yeah.
the end of the day, your post and your feed is going to grow, your story highlights are going to stay there.
Yeah.
So be strategic with how, okay, you want to be on this channel because this is the folks you want to reach and this is your message. You've
Yeah.
established that. Wonderful. So these are the posts that you're going to create. Have that in place. But always driving to build your website and focus on building out your website. Or excuse me, I'm sorry. Now the mushroom coffee is like really kicked in. Build out your email database.
Uh-huh.
Build out your email database as much as possible and
Mm-hmm.
make that your main focus.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because and again, sales are made in emails.
Mm-hmm. 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 Say it louder for the people in the back because it's so true. Like, listen, y'all, this is the last 5 minutes.
Yeah. Oh,
Juicy,
yeah.
juicy
And
goodness in there.
I say it with all honesty, and I say this to everybody that everybody that has a business. I don't care if we're clients or their clients, or if or just whatever. If you have a business and I speak to you, we have conversations because I love these
Yeah.
conversations.
Mm-hmm.
If I always ask, okay, so you have an email database. If it's no, okay, so then when are you gonna
That's
get
the
one?
first
Because
step.
you need
Yeah.
one. Like at
Yeah.
the end of the day, the worst thing anything can happen or have happen is, Mr. Marky Mark gets upset and he goes to
Yeah.
the Meta headquarters and
Yeah.
shuts it all down. And
Mm-hmm.
not only have you, those people that paid for followers, you lost that, but
Mm.
then also
Yeah.
you put money
Yeah.
behind all this content creation because there was
Mm.
no content strategy. So you put all this time and money into your Instagram reels or your posts, and they're gone. What do you have to show for it?
Yeah.
And then what? Like, again, it's like just being smart with how you do things. And yes, be cute and trendy, but then
Mm-hmm.
find a way to use that for your YouTube shorts and your TikTok
Yeah.
and your email or wherever other channels that you're doing. Like, be smart with how you're focusing, because I feel like a lot of folks are just, again, lost in the sauce of like the Instagram. I don't know why. I don't, and maybe it's like a certain generation that's still stuck on. Now they're like left Facebook and they're slowly coming onto Instagram. Like it's
Yeah.
a certain
Yeah.
age group that I feel like, or maybe it's just my clients out here in Chicago. Who knows? But like at the
Yeah.
end of the day,
Yeah.
I feel like there's just such an obsession with folks in Instagram that I'm like, no, like that's not.
I
We
don't
gotta
get
reach.
it. I don't
Yeah,
really
we
like
gotta.
Instagram. Yeah.
I used to. I used to like it. I used to
Yeah.
like it a lot, but it's changed. And it's
Mm-hmm.
not even, and again, like now you can pick up AI stuff so easily that it's
Yeah.
like, it's not even fun anymore. Why am I here?
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
I'm not learning anything, I'm kind of just not, I'm bored already. So,
Yeah.
but messages, email database, huge.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Emails marketing strategy, huge.
Yeah. Just like neon sign, build your email list. That's
Yes.
been so true for my business too. And I'm glad you brought that up because it's like the sales funnel thing. Like social media is a quick moment. It's like a 3-second attention span that you have people and then they're gone. And you got to like stick there or they have to see you for those 3-second intervals like over and over again before they're finally like, wait, what
Yeah.
is this? Wait, actually that sounds, yeah. So like that is just the tip of it. And then like moving them into the email list, moving them into community with you, which is how I look at my email list. Like I'm just, you're just going to hear from me and it has to also be consistent there too. And I think that's what a lot of people struggle with. If there was a tip that you could give us about consistency, since that is a big deal for a lot of folks, what do you tell your clients? How can we be more consistent with the marketing that we're doing?
I would schedule in content batching. For
Mm-hmm.
me, content batching helps a lot. If and then also leaving room for any emails on the fly or thoughts on the fly that I want to share.
Mm-hmm.
But essentially very much taking like my thought process of content strategy into email strategy where I'm looking at the month ahead and I'm basically looking to see if there's anything that I need to call out or
Yeah.
anything that I'd like to share, any certain holidays, anything that I don't want to actually send on that day. Maybe I want to send a couple days before. So at least I know, okay, I map out how many emails I'll be sending that month ahead. And then I literally dedicate 2 hours to just write.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a great
And
tip.
then
Yeah.
just schedule it out. And that's the best thing that I can recommend because life does get crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're always looking for life to get crazier because who's
Yeah.
not looking for clients, right? So who's not looking for more people to help? So,
Yeah.
so as I like to do that, but again, leaving space for me to like just get creative on the fly.
I have like a little notebook I just keep here that is just my ideas notebook because I have those moments
Smart.
where I'm like, what a great idea. But instead of stopping whatever I'm doing and like leaning into that, I'm like, let me just write it down. And then the next time I batch, I'll deal with it. And it's a nice system for me to know that my ideas are not just going to fly out the window because they will if I don't write them down and deal with them.
I
Yeah.
did. It's so funny you said that because recently I listened to a podcast. Personal development is huge for me. I like to
Hmm.
like commit to that on a daily
Hmm.
basis.
Hmm.
And one of the newest things I'm going to share that I learned is where you sit down at your desk before you actually work.
Mm.
And then basically you just close your eyes and you write down everything that like as tasks come in, you just take
Hmm.
a like put the timer on for 2 minutes
Hmm.
and just anything that comes up, write it down. Keep your
Yeah.
eyes closed, you write it down. And then that allows you to kind of do a brain dump
Hmm.
so that after you do your brain dump, that's when you can go ahead and prioritize. But all that to say, it's a new trick to kind of just like get it all out of your mind so that
Yeah.
it doesn't stay lingering. And I thought
Yeah.
that's a cool thing to try
Hmm.
out.
And if it's accessible to people or more accessible, like I love writing things down, and I think that's very helpful for my brain to slow down. But you could also do like a voice note in your phone, and
Yeah.
most of them have a transcription thing where like you just talk for 2 minutes, set the timer, and then afterwards look at the transcript, pull out like the keywords, things like that. So if that's more
Yeah.
accessible for people to like just sit down and do a voice note every day, copy and paste that transcript into ChatGPT. This is what using AI to kind of help parse through our brain's like stream of consciousness. That's what I find most helpful. So I'm a big fan of like the morning pages, sitting down, brain dump, big fan of all of that for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Actually, voice notes, I used to use that during my commute to the shop and getting my stuff
Yeah.
from school and stuff. That's the
Yeah.
best way because when you're driving, 1, 2, 3, you
Yeah.
just save it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Great nuggets.
Yes, amazing. Can you share with us where we can find you, follow you, work with you, what you've got going
Yes.
on? Yeah.
Yeah, so I am available. I am on Instagram.
Yeah.
You can follow me at VMB Creative and then underscore.
Mhm.
And then also my website is vmbcreativecode.com. And yeah, sign up for my newsletter.
Yes.
I'm in like the planning stages. I want to put together a free, just one day. I don't want to do 2 days. I mean, there's so much information I could do 2 days, but I just want to do
Yeah.
like a 1 day like mastermind
Yeah.
a branding mastermind, right? Like, so ideally, this would be for folks that are looking to like create a new or like finally make time
Hmm.
to
Hmm.
establish their brand for their service or product.
Yeah.
Um, or like the beginning stages, or it is for folks that maybe they haven't touched their brand in years, or maybe they've changed, or they want a little makeover, you
Yeah.
know. I'm putting it all together. But if you sign up to the newsletter, then you'll stay in touch with that. But that is
Yeah.
my project. I'm trying to definitely get that in by the fall. So
That sounds
all of that is in
amazing.
development.
Yay, that's so exciting. I'm like, sign me up for that. I
Right
definitely want to
on.
do that.
Right
Awesome.
on.
Well, thank you so much for being a guest on Money Theories. This was full of so many good, juicy nuggets, and y'all might want to just rewind and listen to the entire thing again. Vanessa shared so much brilliance with us, so many actionable tips to take away. Don't buy Instagram followers, get people on your email
No.
list. Like, core message here, y'all.
Don't. And if you got money to spend,
Mhm.
then use it wisely, right?
Yeah.
Spend it in a smart way that you will be able to either A, grow your community, which
Hmm.
should be up there. You
Yeah.
that should be, I mean, otherwise I'd question why you're doing this. But
Yeah. Yeah.
because at the end of the day, you want to build community, right? You want to serve. You don't want to just something to be transactional. Because then
Yeah.
that's a different strategy. That would be a
Yeah.
different ball game. I don't think
Yeah.
that type of
You're
person
not
would be
Walmart.
listening.
You're
Yeah,
not Walmart.
no,
This isn't a
no,
transaction.
no. So,
Yeah.
yeah, this was awesome.
Thanks so
Thank you,
much for
thank you so
being
much,
on
Reagan.
here. Yeah.
I look forward to chatting again.
Yeah, for sure.
Hopefully.
This is so fun. Thank you. Thank you for joining me on this episode of Money Through Ease. If you found value in today's discussion, don't forget to subscribe to the podcast and leave a rating and review. Your feedback really does mean a lot to me. And if you're ready to take the first step towards organized finances, be sure to download my free receipt organization guide, Chaos to Calm. Visit the link in the show notes to grab your free copy now. Remember, your financial journey starts with small steps. I'm here to support you every step of the way. Until next time, this is Reagan Bashara from Money Through Ease. Stay empowered.